What is up? Good evening, everyone around World of Warcraft land, and welcome to number 18 of The Edge. My name is Sean Clark, and I'm the host of this little shindig, but I also go by Valise around Shattered Hand US. Coming up on tonight's show, we'll be talking BlizzCon tickets and Eventbrite 6.0 pre-patch notes and how that's going to affect you. Siege progression numbers have been released, and of course, we want to cover the Olivia D. Grace interview with Ian Hazzikostas. But first, let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Matt Lowe. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. Usual stuff. Got my BlizzCon tickets ready to go, but we'll touch on that in just a little moment here, eh? I assume you got yours as well?
Yes. BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So what have you been up to? Like, what have you been doing?
Oh man, same old stuff. We're still raiding. We're still in siege. We're trying to get through that. Trying to get to the finish line here, but it's getting harder and harder every week these days. It seems.
Man, so, that burnout. Yep. We're gonna talk about that too, actually, a little bit later. We're gonna talk about how the progression numbers in siege. You actually be surprised if you guys haven't checked out these numbers. This is kind of revealing. You can see why Blizzard's going the way they're going in some of these expansions. Just saying. I finally got my Warlock to level 90 on Kulturus. So I tried something different this time. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I made like a female character, right? And so I made a female character, and I named her Miss Vels. So everyone thinks I'm a chick, right? For some reason.
Oh, are you that guy?
Yeah, and everyone's really nice to me. Like, they give me shit and, like, help me out. I've never done that. I was like, man, this is awesome. I should have done this, like, so long ago.
What kind of person are you to take advantage of people's generosity by pretending to be someone that they're not?
It's not generosity. It's a game, first of all. And,
generosity? It's totally generosity. You're totally taking advantage of these people.
Hey, if they're dumb enough to give me that stuff, I'm smart enough to take it. So, but anyways, the whole point of that story was I finally got her to 90. And actually, the funniest thing is I was gonna do some PvP, but now all I've been doing really is camping the Hulan spawns, and that's about it.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Well, they just announced that you're not gonna need Cloud Serpent riding in 6.0 to ride those mounts. So, and of course I don't have it for that alt, so I figured, well, maybe I'll just get it on that character, and then I'll have it on my account, and then come 6.0, all my characters can use it. So.
You may as well just wait, not put in that much effort to getting the rest of it.
Yeah, it's kind of win-win, so. But yeah, so the first thing, obviously, we want to talk about is BlizzCon. BlizzCon is back again, baby. And I got my ticket on Saturday. I was ready this time. Like, I was there. I went to the first batch of tickets, and, I mean, I know I got... Here's the issue I had. I think I messed up a little bit. I mean, obviously I know Eventbrite was like really terrible, but I also think I kind of messed up because, first of all, I forgot that the quantity is automatically set to 0. So I saw the order now, and I hit order now, and it's like, you don't have any tickets ordered, like, or whatever. You haven't selected tickets. So I was like, oh shit. So I went down and I selected one, because I'm just buying one for myself, and I hit order. But then I didn't think anything was happening, so I clicked it again, and I clicked it again.
That was a second mistake.
And then I clicked it again. And I clicked it again, and I was like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have done that. So I didn't get in. Even though, there are reports of people that were coming in 15, 20 minutes later and still getting tickets.
This is true.
Yeah.
I was one of those.
Yeah, so, and I actually did get back in, probably like, I was in the waiting room for about 22 minutes. I got kicked out, and I kept refreshing, got back in twice. And then I didn't get tickets. I got back in, but I didn't get tickets. And I'm only looking for a single ticket. I'm not looking for 3. I'm not looking for 4. I was looking for 1. So I didn't get in. So Saturday, I was ready. I was like, I kept hitting F5, man. My cursor was hovering around the quantity of tickets. Like, I'm like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. So it pops up. I get 1. I hit order now. Click it once. I take my hand right away from the mouse. And within probably 10 seconds, I was at the order now page. I was at the checkout page. So
no, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Glad you got it. Like, my experience was just about similar. I screwed up myself. I refreshed the page once, and then I just saw the drop down appear. But then my own stupidity, I refreshed it again, and then it disappeared, and I think it loaded up a previous cache which didn't have the drop down box, so I kind of screwed myself over for a couple of seconds.
Right.
But yeah, I thought I missed it in the first batch because I was stuck in the waiting room, and then it got ejected out by the system saying it was, we have no more tickets left.
Right.
Um, but so I was like, I was pretty pissed off because this is the first year I was not in on wave one and getting tickets. That's like never happened in the past 3 years that I've been.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really annoyed by that. But on a hunch, I decided to just stick around and wait. Sure enough, about 10 minutes later, I refreshed, or 8 minutes later, I refreshed the page, and then it said the tickets are back in stock again. Kept trying, didn't make it that time, but the next time after that, though, I was able to get my one ticket. I tried to get three, but it said that it didn't have enough tickets for three, so I ended up settling for just one for myself instead, and said, you know what? There's always day two for anyone else that wants to get it, because I usually try to grab tickets for me and the rest of my crew,
Sure.
but it
Right.
looked like everyone was able to secure their tickets. So, and I had one of my other ghillies didn't get his until 25 minutes later. What a ridiculous system. Like, I understand why Blizzard wanted to use Eventbrite this year. They wanted to use it to help monitor scalpers and bots and all that sort of thing, just to try to cut down on that stuff. But I felt that it was a little bit punishing for the rest of us legitimate users as well,
Mm-hmm.
because, it's like I was right there at 7 o'clock refreshing and in line. And then I
Oh
got
yeah.
thrown out of line. So is it technically fair for someone else to come in, 20 minutes after the ticket starts selling and then able to get a ticket? I
Well,
mean,
I
I should be
mean,
grateful that I was able to get it, but at the same time, it should never have happened in the first
well,
place.
here's the thing. This is the way I look at it, is that if
Right,
Blizzard's promoting it as a first come first serve basis, that's not
right.
how it went.
It should be first come,
Well,
first serve. Like, I
exactly.
was there first, I should be in line. Like, this is why I like the
Absolutely.
previous BlizzCon system better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it even showed you what place you were in line,
Yeah.
how many tickets were remaining. So
Right.
you kind of had a ballpark idea of whether or not you would get in. Because if you're at position 13,000, you may as well just close the browser and just give up because
Right. You
you're
know you're
not
not going to
getting
get in.
get
Right.
it. Yeah.
I did tweet to BlizzCon, the actual Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, what's your opinion on the Eventbrite versus the old queue system?" And of course, they didn't tweet me back.
No, they're
They
not
knew.
gonna.
They
Yeah,
knew. They weren't going to fuel that fire. I tried though.
yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping that they'll do some kind of a post mortem or like an analysis of whatever
mhm.
of the system that they used this year. But I can tell that there were a lot of people, in addition to myself, that were really upset with Eventbrite and the way ticket distribution was handled this year. So
Um,
yeah,
but we'll see. I mean, obviously, BlizzCon this year sold out per usual in
seconds.
seconds. I mean,
Theoretically
it's
seconds. I mean, if you want to be really technical about it, you could have gotten it minutes later or whatever. But still,
and then we have someone in the chat saying, "Do you see Elvine's post that you get the virtual ticket again this year?"
I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I did. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah. So that's really awesome too. So because last year, quick story about my BlizzCon trip is that I didn't get tickets. I had to eBay them. I ended up getting scammed. I had to call
Yep.
PayPal and all this crap and get my money back and get refunded. And then I went on the BlizzCon forums, the website just for BlizzCon, and these two guys from England actually happened to have an extra ticket because their third friend fell ill and they couldn't
Yep.
travel like long distance. So I had to I waited in line with my friends when we got there, and then you remember like when you have to go down kind of like
Yeah,
into the actual convention
called the
center.
labyrinth.
Right. So I had to
Yeah.
stop there because I once you get in, you can't get out. Especially
Right.
the first day you're trying to get your badge. So then I had to track down these guys, wait in line again, and they were at the very back of the line. So I had to wait in line again, end up getting my badge, and they kept the goodie bag because that was the agreement. They get to keep the
Yeah.
goodie bag, and I just get the badge. So I never get the goodie bag. I didn't get the virtual ticket because I had to
Yeah.
use someone else's ticket. I did get to pay face value though.
That's
So
fine.
that was my fair. I was like, that was fair. I was like, hey man, you can keep the goodie bag. I just want to pay face value, and we're cool. And the thing is that like I kind of went there on faith, blind faith almost, because I paid them
Yeah.
cash. I mean, I had to meet them there. I had no ticket. I was in Anaheim, flew all the way there, had a hotel room booked, like all this stuff, and I still literally had no physical possession
Until
of
the
a
last
ticket.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this year though, totally different. I have my ticket all reserved, hotels ready, already reserved, and the only thing I'm waiting for is my flight. So, but if you are some of the unfortunate few that did not get a BlizzCon ticket, or you are still looking to sell a BlizzCon ticket, you bought an extra, or you're looking for just people to room with, save a little bit of money. Speaking of Elvine, like we mentioned him earlier, he did actually start a website called lookingforblizzcon.com. That's lfblizzcon.com. Again, you can post roommate listings, buy or sell tickets, and this is a great way to kind of, I feel like, get a better rate or maybe avoid getting scammed going this route. So this is definitely something to check out if you want to go, if maybe you didn't have the money at the time but now you do, or whatever. Check this out. This is a great opportunity for you, and this is an awesome thing that the Elvine did. So huge shout out to you. That is
good job, Elvine.
Very awesome. Very, very awesome. Because that's the thing. I mean, people like us, we, and even people that didn't get tickets, they want to go. We want to go. Like, it's awesome. It's an experience. If you've never been, it's you can't even describe it. It's phenomenal. So highly, highly, highly recommend you go. Check out the site, grab a ticket. Even if it's the one and only time you're going to do it ever, you definitely have to do it at least once. So, and also Eventbrite is terrible. That's all I gotta say. I will admit on Saturday it definitely went a lot smoother than it did a few days previous to that, but I don't know. It's not my thing.
Yeah. I actually met Elvine last year at BlizzCon. Cool guy. It's very nice of him to set up a service like this to help people who have extra tickets sell theirs, and people who are looking for tickets get some as well.
Right. So that's that. BlizzCon, we'll be covering more of that as it gets closer, as we get super excited. And we will be there, obviously. I'll be there the day prior, most likely the day after the event. We'll be all around the place. You'll probably spot us probably wearing some kind of Blizz Pro swag or something, who knows. We are going to be doing like roundtable discussions, most likely through Blizz Pro. We'll have meetups and all that kind of stuff. I think they have like a podcast thing. I mean, I know they have World of Podcasts, but we'll be around. So if you want to meet us, please feel free, say hi, whatever. We're always we're pretty chill, so we're not gonna bite your head off or anything like that. We're not famous, so we're just like
Sean
you.
Might not, but, I might.
We put our pants on one leg at a time. Except I just happen to be a host of a podcast, so that's the only difference. Okay,
moving on, Sean.
Moving on. 6.0.
We actually have some breaking news here, by the way. We have some breaking news. This was just posted on the forums, on the WoW forums. Christo, community manager Christo, posted just like a couple minutes ago, actually, that the next patch 5.4.8, which I'm presuming is the patch before 6.0 or whatever, hopefully the last one. Two important things. One, all upgradable epic items introduced in the game in patch 5.4 will be given the option to upgrade 2 more times. So you can now upgrade your items for a total of 4 times. So for a grand total of 16 item levels per item. This change is only applicable to items that you have acquired in the Timeless Isle or from Siege of Orgrimmar.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you have a 553 item, tier token, or tier piece or whatever, you can upgrade it to 569. Yeah, math, yeah. So that's change number 1.
The old
change number 2, a new kind of currency is being added called Deeds of Valor. You will spend 3,000 Timeless coins. Okay, you spend 3,000 Timeless coins, and you can grant your character 100 Valor points. Finally, you got some good all these Timeless.
That is awesome, but too bad that Valor points. Like no one gives a shit about Valor in 6.0. So.
Well, now we kind of do, because we have an extra 8 item levels per item, or total of 16 item levels per item that you can use it on now. So
then you can. I wonder if that stacks with that 50% extra Valor.
I'm pretty sure.
You think so?
Oh, actually, I don't know. Good call.
I don't know. That's something. That's something we may need to tweet out and ask.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, all right. Let's find out later.
Because who knows? Actually,
it's a good question, though.
We'll find that out. We will find that out, and we will tweet it out most likely, because I'm really curious about that. Speaking of 6.0, the pre-patch notes are here, and one of the first things we're going to cover is the flexible raid difficulty will cease to exist. It is going to be removed from the raid queue instance interface, and of course normal difficulty in Siege will offer a similar experience. So this is where they're going to start introducing the normal, heroic, mythic style of raiding.
Yeah.
Interesting that they definitely like to uh, get you ready, get you kind of feet wet for before the patch hits. Are you excited for this? Do you want to try out the mythic rating in Siege before? I mean, the
Honestly,
burnout effect
the
is
reason
here, so
like so the reason why I'm excited is because the raid size just went from 25 to 20,
mhm.
and I've been gradually losing players and trying to recruit and all that stuff. So this will
This is actually probably better.
help some pressure.
Sure,
Yeah,
right,
for sure. But that's the only one I care about. Like the normal and the heroic stuff,
right.
we've already figured that stuff out before a billion times. It's not going to be a new thing for us at all. So we only care about the mythic changes.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yep.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. Something else I'm really excited about is this new group finder tool.
Oh
That will be
yeah, it's supposed
available.
to. It's kind of okay. So for those people that don't know, Group Finder is supposed to be a method, kind of like what's that site called again? You know, where you find groups.
Open raid.
That's the one. Thank you. I
Yeah,
was like, it was Raid, Raid
the
Open, Raid
old open
Close,
raid, the old dairy.
Open Raid.
No.
That's the one. Yeah.
Hello, hope you're watching
So,
this because I'm saying your name. Okay.
oh, I know I'm so bad at names, but anyway, so that's
I
what it's
just
supposed
tweeted
to
it
be
the other
like.
day.
It's supposed to be an in-game interface version of that site, so you can kind of put together groups and assemble them based on what you're doing. Um, Benefits, though, there's certain restrictions in place. For example, Sean, if I want to invite you to a group for Group Finder, um, is it my eye level?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't specify like eye level requirements that are higher than what I have on.
people are not allowed. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you can't force that upon someone. So like, I'm pretty sure
I'm
it's
a 520 scrub. I can't be like, hey, you have to be 560 or higher to join this group so you can carry me. No, you can't do that.
from what I understand, no one can join your group that has a higher item level than you or
Right.
something like that.
You can't advertise for it. I'm sure you can
Right.
probably, if they're on your friends list or whatever, you can probably
Right.
pull it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, but I mean, I'm saying like the actual like program itself, like the actual group finder tool itself, will probably
Yeah.
put the limitations in there. So, I mean, obviously, if it's your friends, they're not going to be like, no, you know. Yeah,
Put
because
on your tier 14, 13 sets from,
yeah,
last patch, guys.
for that guy that
Sorry.
has the family and kids and two jobs, that guy, he doesn't have time to play the game. The
Yeah,
old
yeah.
LFR hero. But no, the group finder tool will be really cool. It's gonna be used to find groups for normal and heroic siege when 6.0 hits, and then also other cross realm group things you're gonna do. So that could be rep farming. It could be leveling. Could be whatever. So that's cool. That's a nice little in-game option. That's something they should have added forever ago. But I'm glad they finally got around to doing it. Of course, the basic stuff is going to change as well, or I should say the traditional things are going to change, like the achievements are going to be relabeled according to the raid difficulty structure. So, a couple things to note though, there are going to be a couple feats of strength that you will cease to obtain once 6.0 hits, and that's ahead of the curve and cutting edge. So if you are one of those people who are a completionist, or you like having your EP and be like super big, this is something you may want to get done. And if you haven't got it done yet, go do it. If you don't give a crap, then this doesn't pertain to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Of course, the Reigns of the Werewolf will not drop 100% in like it does now in Heroic with the Mythic
It's a
difficulty.
chance drop.
It's a low chance drop, like the Invincible Mount, or Mimron's Head, or even like me trying to find Time Lost Proto Drake, whatever.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
I don't care. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Well, I found it flying through all of Storm Peaks. It's going to Oldar. It's like, dude, I hate you. You know how many hours I've spent camping Storm Peaks? God.
So disappointing.
It makes me so mad. Sad. You mad bro just said in the chat, higher item levels. You just can't. You can have people in the group with higher item levels. You just can't restrict it with an item level higher
Right. Yeah.
than what you have. Or
That's exactly right. Yeah.
right, yeah. So, yep. The old chat. See, this is why having the chat is nice, because if we say something dumb or we don't know, we just say something and then people fix us. You know, they're just like, hey,
Maybe I should just
no.
intentionally say like wrong things
Yeah.
so that people, that get some more engagement going on. Like for example, warlocks are the most underpowered class in the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're terrible. The worst. I would rather
Yeah.
level a holy paladin without dungeon grinding.
Anyway, that covers mounts. Was that just the? Was there another change for the mounts? There were. Let me
Like I said,
think.
it's just gonna be a rare. It's just gonna be a rare or small percentage
Oh
drop.
yeah, that
Um,
was the werewolf. What about the scorpion or the? Not the scorpion. The juggernaut mount.
um,
That's the one that drops off of mythic, I think.
yeah, I can't. It's gonna cease. That's the one I was talking about. It cease to be a guaranteed
Yeah.
drop from mythic and instead become a rare drop.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. I was getting confused with the wolf for a second there because
No, the wolf is gonna the reigns of the Kor'kron war wolf.
you can't get
You
it
won't be
anymore.
able to get it ahead of
Here.
because it's from the ahead of the curve
Right.
feat of strength. So if you want that mount, you have to go get that achievement like right now. Well, I didn't say right now, but you want to get, if you're in a guild like you, I mean, you run a guild, this is something, hey guys, for fun or whatever, you guys want this, mount that you're not going to be able to obtain later.
Better do it fast.
Because believe it or not, guys, I mean, there's going to be people coming in for warlords that are WoW newbies. Believe it or not.
Yep. That's very true.
Everyone thought that was crazy with ICC and with Wrath, and I mean, look how many Wrath babies there are. A lot. Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Heirloom weapons. So when 6.0 hits, the drop rate for heirloom weapons from Garrosh on normal, heroic, and mythic will be significantly increased. So if you have yet to get an heirloom,
Which is probably
you have a 100% guaranteed chance of getting a spec appropriate heirloom when defeating Garrosh on at least normal. And then a chance of receiving additional heirlooms beyond the first will also be increased. So if you want something a little bit of an edge going into warlords for leveling and getting ahead of the curve, or you just like the way they look, or you want
get
to
all the heirlooms.
the EPing again thing, just there you go. But once 6.0 hits, they will no longer drop their heirloom weapons. So if you want those weapons, I know like my old guild tank, I call him Mambles, but his name's actually Mumbles. He Mumbles, yeah. His real name's John, but I call him Mambles because it makes him mad. He's a tank, right? Warrior tank, Torn, and he says the shield and the weapons and stuff that he got from the heirlooms are really cool. Like they're really good looking,
Nice.
and it's that primitive classic WoW feel, which is really awesome. So
It'll fit right in with the theme of going into warlords. Actually.
yeah. So I mean, you'll blend right in. You'll can submit your transmog to Alex. Speaking of Alex, I would like to point out we've gone 24 minutes and haven't even acknowledged her presence here because she's not here.
Her lack of presence.
So if you hadn't noticed, there's this
those of you that are
sad
curious.
panda. Yeah, in case if you're listening just to the audio portion of the show, Alex is just not here. So she's having internet problems, so you just get Matt and I. I probably should have said that earlier, but I think people watching the actual live stream could figure that out by now.
Miss you, Alex.
Sorry, Alex. So anyways, what else do we got here? I think that's about it for the 6.0.
Yep.
You want to turn down your sound a little bit? I'm getting a little of the reverb.
That's actually my phone, which just went off.
Oh. No, I
Sorry.
can still hear it. I can hear it through your speakers, my friend.
I'm sorry.
Raid changes. Olivia DeGrace had a really great interview with Watcher, or otherwise known as Ian Hazakostas. He it was kind of a lengthy interview. It was like what, an hour and 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It was
Quite long.
It was quite long. So but we did highlight
Good
some
stuff.
points. Yeah, no, seriously, it was awesome. It was Olivia, if she watches this, I know from time to time she tunes in and watches the show. If you are watching, you did a really great job. A lot of informative information. I actually tweeted her out that stuff after I saw the interview initially, and I said, some great information. For example, one of the things I was most excited about when she was asking him about how the raid structure was going to be set up, he had said that there were going to be linear raid formats similar to Throne of Thunder and Siege that are going to be gone, but raids are now going to be more open and winged. So sort of like ICC, Naxxramas, like that type of stuff. I love that. I think that is awesome. That was always something I really enjoyed. It's something that gives you a sense of, control almost. It's okay, guys. Like, what do you want to do now? Like, let's just switch it up a little bit. I mean, what it's like to do the grind of just, especially on farm content. It's like, okay, now we have, and now we have, and now, this time at least you can switch it up a little bit. You also,
And it's just not that, but like for the sake of progression too, you can just skip.
yeah,
You've already killed this boss, or
right,
you can move. You can just jump right to the next one on the next week after, and not worry about having to re-clear it again, right? So
right,
you're saving time on the progression front too.
yeah,
That's kind of one of the problems we have right now. Is a lot of our time is spent wasting clearing all the old farm bosses that we've done, and we don't get enough time on the newer stuff.
yep.
So I'm really happy that this is the new paradigm.
You can also give options to skip just a certain boss that everyone needs.
Yep.
So that's kind of nice. I know that he also did mention that, which I see here in the notes as well, that you're going to be eventually, once you've proved your worth, so to speak, and you can say, okay, these first, let's just say there was 2 wings that were non-linear and a third wing that is linear. You need to clear the first 2 wings to gain access to the third. Well, after maybe 4 times of completely clearing the first 2 wings, you're going to gain some kind of item, like a crystal, for example, that will make it so you can just teleport directly to the third wing.
Yep.
So that way, if you guys are going for progression, or you're going for, heroic attempts or mythic attempts on so-and-so, you can just skip right to it, and then you can go back and do different difficulties of the farm content bosses for gear or whatever. So for you as a raid leader, and for someone that is a guild, runs a guild, I mean, this is great for you because opens up so many options, and you can kind of appease the more people now, and the burnout effect will be a little bit less. Obviously, I mean, it's always still there eventually, but this is definitely a good step in the right direction.
Have boss will travel is what I like to call it.
Yeah, I like that. Loot doesn't overlap between difficulties is something else that that she had brought up with him. And this is important because this opens up a multitude of different options for you as a player. So let's just say, like, Matt and I are on the Mythic raid team, and we're doing our thing, and we down the first 3 bosses, and whatever. I think the org, it's not the BlackRock orgs. It's one of the orgs that's going to be like one of the first raids that's going to be available. So say him and I do the first 3 bosses, and then, my close friends and I have a small group and we want to go in and do heroic. Well, we can go do that. And then let's just say that I have, I don't know, whatever, some friends that barely play, we want to go do normal. And we can go do that. And you can still get gear. So it's, and the same thing goes for, let's go back to this example of Matt and I in a Mythic team. Let's just say the 4th boss is giving us trouble. We can't do it on Mythic. We drop down to Heroic, and we can down him, and you get loot. But then you can come back. Right, and then you can come back and change to Mythic again later, maybe in the week, and give it another shot. So you can actually gain gear 3 times over on the same boss every week.
Yeah, if there's something specific that you're looking for, like a specific trinket, specific set bonus or set piece or whatever, you can get it until you get the really good one that you want, be it on Heroic or Mythic.
Which is pretty cool. It's almost like the Diablo-esque kind of feel to it, where it's like, you're like rolling, like kind of like on stats almost, just, you know what I mean? Like, you're trying to find that right piece of gear. It's like, well, I don't really quite have it, but I have it, but it's not what I want. It's not the best. That's not the best. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Definitely an improvement for the player base, and will help the burnout. No requirement to complete Heroic in order to do Mythic. You can definitely do it when it's released. Their timeline, according to Watcher, is the first week is no rating per usual. They want you to experience the content. They spend a lot of money on graphic design and lore and all that stuff, so they want you to go and be all like, oh, wow, look at that beautiful hill.
They don't want you to kill yourselves either, leveling to 90 within 2 days or whatever, or 100 rather. So that's what it's there for. So everyone gets an equal footing on the world progression race.
Also important to note, this is a 10 level expansion, not a 5 level expansion.
Yep.
Like it hasn't been the last couple. But the cool thing is that no rating first week. Okay, we get that. Normal Heroic comes in the next week after that. Following week, which will be the 3rd week of the expansion, Mythical will then be open. And there are no set requirements now From what I understand, though, you do need to do it on normal to get access to heroic and mythic. That's something that I just saw like a tweet on or something.
We'll have to double check that because I'm pretty sure they said that you do not have to do it. You don't have to
You don't have
do
There's no requirement for mythic, they said.
right.
But
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right. There's no requirement to complete heroic to do mythic, but they didn't say anything about the other difficulties.
right. They never said anything about heroic. So, you know,
I imagine you should be able to enter
I
heroic
could
right away.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
We didn't have to go into flex to do normal because we were able to walk into normal right away. If anything, we had to wait a week before we could do stuff on flex after
Right.
normal opened up this
Right.
tier. It would not make sense for them to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I'm just saying that maybe I was dreaming or something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I remember him saying
check on that. Verify.
something like you do need to complete, something to gain access to heroic and mythic.
We'll verify that.
Yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure. I can't remember exactly. If I wish I could. I wish I would have. Wish I could remember where I heard that. But it's in there. So I heard it somewhere. 2 starting raid zones are confirmed. Like I said earlier, kind of like the Throne of, or excuse me, when Mist was first released, and you had those two. Like you had like Heart of Fear open at the same time as,
Heart of Fear came out a couple weeks after the first one did because I guess people were still struggling through the
Mogushan Vaults and
Sean Vaults,
Yeah.
Palace, what
right. Because they the dance, people can get the dance down and stuff. LFR loot would be gear with no set bonuses and less awesome trinkets. Now I remember the first thing that everyone freaked out about was like, because I remember at first they said there was gonna be no trinkets, and everyone like lost their shit, and they were like,
Yeah.
"That's not fair, man. That's not fair." So he did come back and say, there are gonna be trinkets.
Just they're not as good as the one you'd get from
Right.
Heroic or no.
And the rate at which LFR gear drops will double.
Awesome.
So
Make it rain, right? Make it rain.
that's right. The old free loot system. And honestly, like, okay, I understand their point there because like people who do LFR like that, like a lot. I mean, here's the benefit from this. People who do LFR a lot feel like they're getting something out of the game for their money. Okay?
Right.
What do they play for? They want quick, easy bosses. They want to see the content. They want loot. Ta-da, there's LFR, double the loot drops. Now, what do hardcore raiders want? They want to be separate. They want to be different. They want to feel special. Okay, well,
Challenge.
give them the set bonuses, give them the slightly better trinkets, the things like that, but also make it so they can gear up some alts faster as well. Well, what's the best way to do that? Jump into LFR real quick. If he's completely under geared, you're going to get double the loot drops anyways. The double the chance of the loot drop. So there you go. So everyone win. It's all across the board, which is great. Group Finder as well, something else I want to mention, helps LFR players move into flex and normal rating. Standard Q UI, you can't create a group with eye level requirements higher than your own, so something we mentioned earlier. And Group Finder loot can either be personal assigned or loot council. The old loot council. It's back, baby.
So we were wondering about what was going to happen to Valor points since unsure what their feature was. Blizzard said they wanted to do away with them. Looks like they're going to be.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be using heirlooms or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's you can only use it to buy heirlooms now. You're not going to be using them to buy raid quality items or upgrade stuff anymore or anything like that, which makes me question the usefulness of it. Unless if you have a lot of characters you want to level up, I guess the heirlooms will come in handy. But
no, it's like they want to they're doing this. They're like trying to squeeze the Timeless Isle dry. They're like, because guess what? They're like, oh, you want some more heirlooms for your character? That's fine. Just go hang out in the Timeless Isle like you've been doing for the past year and a half.
Yeah, but as a raider, Valor is just.
I love this. I don't care. Like the casual player's gonna bitch, and I get it, but like I think that's great.
The hardcore player's gonna bitch.
Well, I mean, I just don't think that. I think you should earn your gear. I think that gear should be earned from drops, from raid bosses, from progression, from people that put the time in.
Whoa, hang on here. What? Whoa. So you're saying that even though I bust my ass for 8 straight weeks without getting the drop I want, I shouldn't have access to raid gear?
Right.
What?
That's part of the game.
What the heck? How come I can't buy the gear that... This is what happened during Burning Crusade because people didn't get access to the loot. That's why Valor points were first introduced, so people like me who had crap luck could actually, feel some semblance of rewards. We can actually go out and buy gear and put it on ourselves.
I like to point out that BC, in most people's opinion, is also the best expansion in the game.
That's exactly my point.
So I like it better that way. I like the fact that you got to go in and you get a chance at your drop. If you don't get it, you don't get it. You know what I mean? Like
but
that's
it's like for 10 straight weeks, you get to the point where you're so frustrated. It's like, what the hell's the point of playing this game?
You can take those. You're still gonna get different types of items, not items, but you're gonna get different kinds of currency you're gonna be able to use to purchase other things. But it's not gonna be it's not gonna be the exact thing you want. But guess what? It keeps you playing. It brings you back.
Well, that's kind of that's what I mean. That's why I want the currency about. So I'm not a fan of this whole currency change at all. But as long as the loot keeps flowing, that's fine with me. If they can adjust the drop rates and they actually, hang on here. So let's backpedal for a second. They did mention that the loot drop thing was going to be a lot smarter. So if I already had a mythic neck or whatever off this one boss, it's a very, very low chance that I would get it on the second kill. I might get like maybe a ring or a weapon instead of the neck that I've already earned. So I'm hoping that pans out well.
Right.
Because you and I have been raiding for a while now, and there's been times where we get the same stupid item 4 or 5 times, like in a row off this boss in Siege or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it does kind of help us out here a bit.
I'm going to something else that was just released. So I'm going to switch us over to my screen here, my desktop screen. But they just released the this is actually Elvine's picture that he posted, but the Warlords of Draenor, one of the mounts, just got a preview. It's just been released literally as we've been talking. So you can see this kind of looks like I don't even know.
You can find that on BlizzPro.com. We actually have a post up on it right now.
Yep, we do. So there you go. I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but there it is. So it's cool. So there you go. That's that. That's a lot of the 6.0 changes. That's what a lot of stuff that's you're gonna be seeing coming your way. Oops, switched to my wrong scene. There we go. So yeah, cool. Where are we? Where did we stop? Okay, so something else that we want to talk about is speaking of rating and getting all this stuff here. What about progression numbers? You're like, hey, so and so's down on this boss. Everyone's killing Garrosh. We're gonna be doing Siege for forever. Well, guess what? You're wrong.
Yeah, what are the actual numbers?
You are actually very, very wrong. So, MMO Champ actually released this percentage of players that have defeated all the bosses and all the different difficulties. So, if I dare, I'm going to switch you back over here, so you can see the percentage of players that defeated Siege of Orgrimmar bosses. So, the first bar being LFR, the second bar being Flex, Normal, and then Heroic. So you can see from LFR, from Immersius, 71% of people have killed Immersius in LFR out of active players. It says here 7.3 million characters from 2.3 million accounts, with at least one character active after May 15th. So good 70% killed Immersius in LFR, 9.9%, so 10% killed Heroic Immersius. And if you think it gets better from there, you can see the graph, it does not get better from there.
It trends downward pretty hard.
Yeah. 8.5 on Protectors for Heroic, almost 10% for Norshin. Look at that. Shaw of Pride, 7.3. I mean, it goes down 7, 6, 5, 6, 4. Huge drop between Nazgrim and Malkarok. Huge drop. You go from 6% to 4.4. 3.7 on Spoils.
Yeah, which is where I'm at right now, which leads me to conclude that doesn't mean that we're like the top 3.7% of the players right now in terms of progression. It does, right?
I would say it makes you the top 4.4 because you've killed Malkarok, but you haven't killed Spoils.
That's not true. We did kill Spoils.
If you did kill Spoils, then it does make you the
yes.
3.7%. Yeah. But if you look all the way over here to Garrosh, Heroic Garrosh, 0.8.
0.8. Less than 1%.
0.8. That's ass. Where have all the good raiders gone? You know where they went? They went to Wildstar. They're gone. They left.
I expect they'll come back. They'll be coming back in Warlords in a couple
Of
months.
course they will. But you can see that, sometimes you got to take a step back and say, okay, why are Blizzard making all these changes to all these casual players? I don't understand. This is why. This is why. I mean, these numbers still haven't changed even since like Naxxramas. You know what I mean? Like, how many players saw actual Nax, like original Nax, like less than 1%?
It's the same, almost the same percentage. Yeah, it's comparable rates.
So there you go. And then you can see that below there's a percentage of participating players that defeated Siege of Orgrimmar bosses. So, same thing. LFR, Flex, Normal, Heroic. So, this one's a little bit better, though. Heroic Garrosh, 8.3%. Paragons is 13.5%. I mean, so... There you go. It's interesting. Interesting stats here. And then here's the other one. Percentage of players that completed Siege of Orgrimmar in any difficulty. So...
That actually surprises me, though. Like, it's just above half, 55% of the people completed Siege Wing 4.
Right.
That's like the last wing. I mean, there's a little under half the people that haven't beaten the game yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 3.8% of the raiding community has actually completed Siege. But yet, all of these people who complain about, oh man, we don't have enough to do, Siege is, taking forever, there's not enough new content. It's like, bitch, you haven't even done the content. Like, seriously.
Exactly.
Like, what are you complaining about? What? This is quality content. Siege of Orgrimmar was good. Yeah, I mean, everything gets boring after a while, so was ICC. ICC's boring right now. Well, was it boring when it came out? No. So, just something to keep in mind. Interesting numbers and good.
Yeah, nice perspectives.
It's good article over there by Wowhead. So, or excuse me, by MMO Champion. So that's it. That about does it. Sorry, Alex wasn't here. I know some of you people are really sad about that. So, Sad Panda's back though. There's nothing wrong.